She said, now I can find someone who can actually afford to take care of me at her father's memorial dinner. I said, too late, and slid the funeral receipt I'd paid across the table. Let me back up. I'm 27, been a paramedic for 5 years, dating Renee for 2 years. Her dad died suddenly last Tuesday. Massive heart attack at 61. At the hospital, I overheard Renee's mom crying on the phone with the funeral director. They couldn't afford even the basic package at $8,000, let alone the premium at $15,000. Her dad handled the finances, left them with nothing. I slipped out and called the funeral home from the bathroom, gave them my credit card for the full premium package. My entire inheritance from my grandmother, saved for a house down payment, gone in one phone call. The funeral director promised to keep it anonymous, tell them an anonymous benefactor covered everything through their hardship fund. I was planning to take this secret to my grave. Renee deserved to grieve without knowing her boyfriend bankrupted himself for her father's dignity. What an absolute idiot I was. The memorial dinner was at Renee's childhood home. Her aunts from California had commandeered the living room while I sat in the corner, apparently invisible to everyone including my girlfriend. So your boyfriend's just a paramedic? Aunt Janet asked, not even glancing at me. That's barely above minimum wage. Embarrassing, honestly, Renee said, and my stomach dropped through the floor. Gavin just texted me again. Remember him? Just made partner at his firm. Now that's a real man, her mom said, looking at me with open disappointment. Not someone who drives an ambulance for a living. This was the same woman who hugged me at the hospital, thanking me for being there for her daughter. I keep telling her to dump him. She can be with literally anyone, cousin Gina said loudly. Renee laughed, actually laughed, and something inside me shattered. Dad dying might be perfect timing. No more interrogations about who I'm dating. Gavin already offered to help with any expenses, Renee said, scrolling through her phone, smiling at their text messages. Meanwhile, this one, Renee pointed at me drunkenly with her wine glass, offered to chip in $50. 50 for my father's funeral. The room erupted in laughter. I wanted to scream, to tell them about the empty bank account, the grandmother's money meant for my future, all gone to bury a man whose family saw me as worthless. Why are you even still with him? Gina asked. Renee looked directly at me for the first time all night, and her eyes were cold, calculating. Honestly, I felt bad breaking up with him right before Dad died. I don't need to pretend anymore. Pretend. 2 years of pretending. Every I love you, every plan we made, all of it fake. My hand closed around the receipt, all $15,000 itemized in black and white, and I knew it was time. I stood up from the couch, my legs surprisingly steady. Actually, Renee, I did contribute to the funeral. The laughter died. I pulled out the receipt with trembling fingers, slid it down the table until it landed in front of her mother. Her mother's face drained of color as she read, her hands starting to shake. This says you paid for everything. The entire funeral. $15,000 with your name on it. Renee snatched it from the table, her confident expression crumbling into confusion, then horror. That's impossible. The funeral home said an anonymous benefactor. That was me. My voice broke slightly. I called them from the hospital bathroom while you held your father's hand as he died. I could see the exact moment understanding hit each of them, and watch their smugness transform into shame. You paid $15,000? Renee's mom's voice cracked. The premium package your husband deserved, the military honors for his service, the plot next to his parents. My voice grew stronger with each word. The flights from California, this catered dinner you're eating while calling me worthless. Renee's hands trembled, tears starting to fall. That was your grandmother's inheritance. Your dad treated me like a son, I said, my own eyes burning now. I hope Gavin is worth losing someone who loved you enough to go broke for your father. Renee burst through the front door as I reached my car, her family spilling out behind her. Please don't leave, she sobbed, grabbing my arm with desperate fingers. I pulled away, unable to look at her. Janet ran out in her heels, stumbling on the driveway. We're monsters. You spent everything. I was just trying to impress them, Renee cried, mascara streaming down her face. The lie made me laugh, bitter and short. No, you were showing them who you really are. Her mom reached us, breathless. You're the son my husband always wanted. Please come back. Dad would be so ashamed of me, Renee sobbed, falling to her knees on the concrete. Neighbors were watching from windows. The whole family stood in the driveway, begging the man they'd just called worthless. I drove off anyway. I sat in my apartment. Venmo notifications flooded in with apologies in small amounts, as if money was ever the point. The thing is, I didn't want their money. I wanted my girlfriend to love me enough to defend me just once.